This week, we are excited to introduce a new segment we like to call the Cable News Olympics. We'll take some time each week to award cable news' greatest competitors' finest moments. The games consist of some classic events such as Best Interview or Wisest Use of Source Material, but others you may not be so familiar with, such as Most Factually Incorrect Interview, as well as Most On-Screen Sexual Harassment Settlements. The committee recently canceled one of the newest events, Ugliest Screen Grab, when it was revealed that Tucker Carlson was going to be suspended for having a performance-enhancing face. This week's event is Most Ironic Segment, given out to the cable news interview or story that is the least aware of its context every week. The gold medal winner for us in this category is one of the world's greatest exporters of obliviousness, Fox News. This clip from Friday's episode of Fox News' Outnumbered broadcast was a late entry whose meteoric trajectory to the top took all of us here at Michigan Time by surprise. The Outnumbered panel was having a discussion about the president's comments this weekend regarding Haiti, Nigeria, and other shithole nations when contributor Rachel Campos Duffy chimed in with this comment. Take a look.
I'm glad Mia Love put that out, and I would too. I mean, sometimes the best immigrants come from those kind of countries. They're better able to see the difference between what we're offering opportunity-wise versus those countries that are often corrupt and are dysfunctional. That said, I still have a problem with people in a private meeting going out and saying what the president said when they know, like right now, I just heard a report that said the Panamanian ambassador just quit over this. I mean, it makes our country look bad. I think the Democrats in this case should have used some discretion. And even if he did say that, maybe for the sake of the country,
can I ask you a question, though?
Not repeat it.
Okay, let's play that back. The interview was going well until here.
They're better able to see the difference between what we're offering opportunity-wise versus those countries that are often corrupt and are dysfunctional.
So about that. Yes, many of those nations have had issues with corruption. Haiti, one of Trump's proclaimed shitholes, was for many years run by a family dictatorship, the Duvaliers. Now, fun fact, Francois Duvalier studied public health at the University of Michigan for 1 year, putting him in the same alumnus category as H.H. Holmes, Ted Kaczynski, and, of course, Ann Coulter. His son, Jean-Claude, took power in 1971 after his father's death, and Jean-Claude in 1983 laundered money from his nation's treasury via a $400,000 apartment in Trump's Manhattan Tower, which he bought through a shell company known as Lassa Trade and Finance. So, Trump supporters are justifying the president's comments by saying that the governments of these shithole nations are corrupt. Who could have ever guessed that Trump himself would have been involved in that corruption? In addition to involvement in other nations' corruption, Trump's actions related to his businesses have raised questions of corruption in our country. After his election last year, Trump doubled the membership fee of his Mar-a-Lago resort to $200,000. Could you imagine taking out a second mortgage just to golf with somebody who looks like this? And to start this new year off right, the president held a party at the resort, with the fee costing members of the club $600 and non-members $750. This represents an increase of 15% and 30% respectively from last year's prices, according to Newsweek magazine. And in that same article, Newsweek quotes a former ethics lawyer for the George W. Bush administration calling this pay-to-play. And when the lawyer who justified Guantanamo Bay as ethical says you're corrupt, you probably have some soul-searching to do. Finally, despite his pleas that the bill would make him a big loser, which is really the NBC show that he should have been a part of, according to the New York Times, Trump will be saving at least $11 million a year under the new tax bill, giving him plenty of spare cash to pay off all the porn stars he's assaulted. Trump's tax bill leads us to Campos's next point, that the governments of shithole nations are dysfunctional. Congress has had a favorability well below 30% for most of the time between now, January 2018, and the summer of 2005. The song of summer in 2005 was the fresh Gwen Stefani hit, Holla Back Girl.
That said, I still have a problem with people in a private meeting going out and saying what the president said when they know, like right now, I just heard a report that said the Panamanian ambassador just quit over this. I mean, it makes our country look bad.
Does it? I think the story here is really focused on what he said, not how we found out that he said it. Classic authoritarian move to blame the leak and not the problem. Moreover, doesn't the president calling other places in the world shitholes make us look worse? Or what about that he called the population of one of our biggest trading partners rapists to begin his political career? Or that he believes the last president was born in Kenya because of his name and the color of his skin? What about when he bragged about committing sexual assault? Or got into a dick measuring contest on a microblogging site? Or threatened nuclear war on a microblogging site? Or the fact that it's pretty obvious he wants to bone his daughter? What about when Trump eventually pulls his eyelids tight and says ching chong in an effort to insult Kim Jong-un? Do none of these things make our country look bad?
I think the Democrats in this case should have used some discretion. And even if he did say that, maybe for the sake of the country,
Can I ask
not
you a
say
question,
something,
though?
not repeat it.
For the sake of the country, don't repeat it? This is my message to anyone, anywhere. WWBD. What would Batman do? The Dark Knight's defining trait is that he is incorruptible. If you see something, say something. That's how you make the world a better place. And if the president says or does something that he should not be doing, and it's obvious with this one that it happens a lot, it's your duty to your nation to let the world know. And for these wildly ironic comments, Michigan Time is pleased to present Rachel Campos Duffy with the gold medal for most ironic segment of the week.